We are back on air with Rare with a special guest from Southwest Virginia. Just came to the city, been showing love, seen his face all summer, all fall. He got his feet on land with no further ado. LaSalle's head coach, Darris Nichols. What's going on, coach?
Rare, how you doing, man? It's good to see you.
All is well, man. I
Yeah,
appreciate you being here.
I know if I see you in the city, I'm in the right spot usually. So I've been seeing you all over the place.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate that, coach. Coach, so talk to me. You just got into the city. You haven't been here too long. Did you get a chance to get a cheesesteak yet? And if so, where from where?
Yeah, I have. I've been kind of all over the place. Obviously, recruiting Philly over the years, I've gotten cheesesteaks over the years. So um, it's crazy in the spring when we got all these official visits. Everybody wants to come. Let's get a cheesesteak. So this spring, man, we ate a cheesesteak every day, trying to finish this roster out. But we usually go over to Chubby's. We go
Yeah.
there quite a bit. Obviously it's
Shout out to
close.
Chubbs
So
on
yeah,
Emory
yeah.
Avenue.
So yeah, for sure.
Yeah, coach. So talk to me. I mean, you played high level basketball yourself in the Big East when the Big East was like the Big East. You played at West Virginia, and the Big East was, the likes of Syracuse,
Yeah.
Villanova, Georgetown, and schools like that. What was it like competing on that level, and what notable players did you play against while you were there?
Man, it was a battle every night. The Big East is physical. It's like first to 65 wins a game. Man, that's before, conference realignment when the Big East, when the ACC took a few of the teams. So, then I
Mm,
thought it was the best. I thought it was the best conference, in the country. When I
without a
when I
doubt.
played in the Big East, and some of the players we played against. I mean, Pittsburgh had really good players. One of the hardest dudes I had to guard was probably Levance Fields, who was just a handful.
Tough.
I mean, yeah,
Played that pit.
Syracuse,
You
yeah,
played against
Syracuse,
Advance. That's yeah. He was a
yeah,
dog. He was a dog.
yeah, and Syracuse had Johnny Flynn and those guys, and
Mm,
Georgetown was rolling. That's when JT3 was there, and they had Jeff Green and all those guys. So the Big East, every night it was a battle, and then you're playing teams that sometimes finish towards the bottom, but they had tough guards. Like every night in the Big East when I played, you was going to get some tough Northeast guys, and it was a battle. It was a battle every single night.
So speaking of the Big East, it's such a tough tournament, such a touch conference. A lot of people don't get to make it, far in the Big East tournament, let alone the national tournament. And you was actually blessed enough to make it to the national tournament, and not just there, you actually made it to the Sweet 16 as a player. What was that
Yeah,
experience like?
it was good. I mean, my freshman year was crazy. My freshman year, we went to the Elite Eight, and I'll never forget, going into triple overtime with Wake Forest when Chris Paul was there.
Mm,
And that was the team that kind of put West Virginia back on the map. At Mike Gansey, Kevin Pittsnogle, Johannes Hairbear, those guys, and Tyrone Sally. But it was special because we went on to play in two Sweet 16s. We won the NIT championship. So those teams that we had, we weren't ultra talented, but we were super connected. Like, and if you look at some of my teammates and where they are now, a lot of them are in coaching or, front office in the
mm,
NBA. And this is because we were basketball junkies.
mm. Now, look, I did a lot of digging before, I got this interview.
Yeah.
You did a lot of winning at West Virginia, man. You finished top 5 in wins at West Virginia as a player, man, which is quite impressive from the long list of greats that played there. How many games did you actually win?
I had to look it up. I had to look it up because I really didn't know it was 99 wins.
Crazy.
And it's funny because I spoke at a clinic the other day in New Jersey, and somebody said, they said you finished with 993 points. And some of my guys that I'm coaching now, they saw the graphic. They said, Coach, why didn't you get to 1,000? I said, man, I wasn't even thinking about, I was playing to win. I wasn't thinking about how many points I was scoring. We were trying to win.
Mm.
So, we just had great teammates, had great competitive dudes around us.
I mean, yeah, I think we both can agree on that. Team success is much better than individual success for sure, for sure.
Right.
What fast forward a little bit? What made you get into coaching?
Um, my dad's a coach. My older brother's a coach. He's on my staff here. Um, I thought I was going to play in the NBA. I played all
Mm,
4 years of college, never got hurt. My first year in Europe, blow out both knees. You know, I go
Mm,
back to Morgantown. I'm parking cars at a local hotel, trying to figure it out what I'm gonna do next. And my college coach Bob Huggins, he said, if you want to get into coaching, I have a GA spot coming open next year if that's what you want to do. And I always want to do something to help kids. I didn't know, in what area I wanted to be a social worker. Um, but then, when I got hurt, I said, I can help kids through the game of basketball. And so I
mm.
pivoted after that, and that's what led me into coaching.
Now, you coached at Louisiana Tech, Wofford, Northern Kentucky. You was an assistant at Florida, and while at
Yeah.
Florida, you got a chance to coach in a national tournament not once, not twice, not three times, but four times. How was that for you? And like, how far did you guys advance?
The furthest we made it to was the Elite Eight. I think that was our second year at Florida, and I mean it was special. Like we had a good group of guys. We had some talented guys, and it would have been five, but COVID, that COVID year hit. It would have been 5 out of 6, and it was hard. You coming in after Billy Donovan, and the success he had there. So we just, I mean, it was good for me. Like when I first got the job, and that's my hometown. When I first got the job at Radford, it was one of the last jobs filled. It was in May, and so I'm trying to scramble around in the transfer portal and get guys. And so that first year was a challenge. Obviously, the challenge was my first head coaching job, and just learned so much about just managing and leading young people over those 4 years, and it was special because I had my brother doing it with me, and then the
Mm,
success that we had in my hometown, I felt like we brought the community together.
mm. Now, you in your first season at LaSalle. Congratulations on the hire again. What type of culture are you building on Olney Avenue?
And the main thing is just toughness. You know, um, our teams at Radford, we were always one of the best rebounding teams in the country, one of the toughest, grittiest teams. And when I think of Philadelphia basketball, and especially some of the guys I ran against playing in the Big East, they were always tough dudes. And where we are located in North Philly, like we have to match the environment that we're in. And so, the guys
Mm.
that we brought in, especially in this first recruiting class, was, guys that are tough, gritty dudes. And, I think that's what we have. That's what we're building. That's what we recruit to.
What does we talking about then and now? What does it mean to be an explorer?
Um, the beauty of it is like when you look back at the history of LaSalle, there have been a lot of pockets of success. Now, we want to get it back there, but the challenging part is, sustaining that. First we got to get it back there, and then we got to maintain and sustain it. But to me, it's just, looking back and talking to some of the former players, the excitement that they have around the program right now is really special to me. And, just the success that they've had. And a lot of people don't realize how much success because, it's been a while. So that's what I'm excited about is, trying to get it back to, um, when they had it over the years where they had the really, really good teams.
Well, Coach, I know you had a long day. Before I let you go, I want you to drop a jewel on the future scholars that's looking to play college basketball, or even the parents and high school coaches that don't know.
Yeah.
What does it take to become a Division I athlete?
I think I think the biggest thing now is just is a level of toughness.
Mm,
And I think a lot of players now, especially because the climate has changed with the NIL and the transfer portal,
right.
you're competing against older guys. So it's one thing to be super skilled and to be able to, put the ball in the basket and all those things, but you have to be physically ready to impact the college game. So,
Mm.
the high school players I talk to now, I'm like, you have to focus on nutrition. You have to focus on developing your body because you're playing against 24, 23-year olds as a freshman. So if you can't compete physically, it's going to be really, really hard for you to make it that level.
Mm. Well, Coach, I appreciate you for taking time out your night to tap in and be on air with Rare. And I hope you guys have a successful season. Dare to be rare all season and go Explorers.
I appreciate you, brother.
Thanks for tapping in, Coach. Talk to
Yeah,
you soon.
we'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was LaSalle's new head coach, Darris Nichols. Huge success in the future for those guys. Those guys feet on land. They're out there recruiting. They're out there working. And I'm happy for LaSalle. They got a great hire, and we look forward to them doing great things on Alany Avenue. But before I get into my next guest, make sure you guys follow us on YouTube at Rare Footage Sports, and make sure you follow us on Instagram at Rare Footage Sports. And to keep up with the number one source for sports, follow us on X at Rare Footage News. Now we got a special one coming up. This one is so special to me. This is a guy I looked up to since I came out the womb. If anybody know, if Michael Jordan was your hero and Muhammad Ali was your hero, this guy that's coming up on here, this was my hero growing up. This is who I looked up to. This is who I admired to be. A special guy, a division coach. My brother, same mother, same father, St. Peter's assistant, Scott Rodgers. What's going on, coach? Can you hear me, coach? Coach, can you hear me? You got to unmute your phone.
Can't hear you right now.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Let me bring him out, y'all. I got to bring him back. Hold on. Come back in. Come back in. Can you hear me?
I still can't hear you.
Hold on. Can you hear me? I don't know what's going on with the audio, y'all. I don't know what's going on. Can you hear me? I'm gonna tell him leave.
I can't hear you right now.
Hold on, y'all. We having technical difficulties with Coach. Can you hear me? Coach is having technical difficulties, y'all. We gonna get him on. Hold on, y'all. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you now.
What's going on, Coach? Hold on, we gotta get
What's,
we gotta get your applause over, man. Technical difficulties. What's going on, Coach?
what's going on, my guy?
Oh man, I appreciate you tapping in. You know, you same mother, same father, man. I'm super proud of you with what you got going on over there, man. But let's get into it. You the epitome of a Philadelphia basketball player. You played in Philly your whole life. Who's your top five Philly basketball players of all time that you've seen live? It could be playground or it could be high school.
Well, first, let me give you my flowers to you, man. Super, super proud of you, man. You created a platform that, you got a lot of followers and followings and people who's looking up to you, and you creating a lot of opportunities for people out here. And it's crazy you put me on the spot just like that, naming
It's
five
hard.
high
It's tough.
school
I need to know.
is,
Hey, look, when you on air with Rare, it's the hot seat, man. It's the hot seat.
man, there's so many great players that came out of Philly, man. And I'll start with freshman year in high school, man. I'm at Central. I'm playing in my Chuck Tellers. I got to see Mustafa Shakur live up close and
Mm.
personal.
Oh, I was there.
Um,
Go ahead. Yes.
he was different. He was different. With that spin move, that elite spin move, and him being 6'4" and crafty, probably one of the best players I've seen up close and personal.
Mm.
Uh, to follow that up, man, his teammate Mike Cook. Mike Cook
Mm.
was a bully. Was a six
Mm.
four just dog, nasty.
Yeah.
And he was exciting to watch. Rare, you got me thinking, man. You got me going way back.
Really, look, when I asked the question, I knew I was gonna put you in a tough spot. I said I'm gonna put him in tough because look,
Yeah,
the history's so rich in Philly. The name five is just like,
yeah, it's so
you know.
hard, man. It's just so
How
hard.
about street ball legends? Any street ball legends that like people who don't know about that you've seen in the playground that might have been those guys?
Street ball legend. It's tough because a lot of guys that I grew up, we all play street ball. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
We all grew
yeah.
up outside. So like all the guys that I seen in the gym or high school and things like that. They were street ballers too. So
L-
it's tough. But I'll put. I don't know if guys know Richard Francis.
mm,
6'4" guard. He athletic. Could do it all. I go Rodney Green, man. Rodney Green.
he was
Tough,
different. He was tough,
tough,
very tough. Yeah, yeah,
tough.
for sure, for sure.
Um,
I mean, his spin move was the second to stop, second coming to stop Shakur joint for sure, for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. But he'll spin and then he'll dunk on you. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So, Rodney Green is up there too.
Give me one
Um,
more.
People probably don't even know this guy. He played at Anthony Morris, left hand guy. He grew up with
Mm,
me at John Hartnett. Um,
yep. He
and
scored like 70 in the middle school game or something like that, I believe.
yeah,
Something
he was
crazy like that.
tough. He was tough. He was tough.
So listen, you were the number one player in the entire city coming out of eighth grade. You could have went to any school in the city. You name it, you could have went there. Why Central? Why did you choose Central High School?
I was being heavily recruited by Newman Goretti. People probably
Mm,
didn't know that. Me and my teammate Lorenzo Bird, we was being heavily recruited by Newman Goretti. And you know how I go, man. Like, back in the day, moms, it'd been tough for me to get down there. Mom was working two jobs and,
yeah.
it was hard for us growing up. But um, I decided to go to Central just because one is down the street, not too far from the neighborhood. And I actually did all right on the standardized test for me to get accepted into Central.
I mean, not only I mean, you did a lot of special things there. Not only did you finish as the school's all-time leading scorer, but you won the public league championship there when the pub was the pub. You guys went, I believe, undefeated in the season against public school teams. You went into Gratz and beat Gratz. That was like unheard of back then. Talk about that season some. Like, name some of the guys you played with and talk about coach. Like, how did Central High School, one of the most smartest schools in America, win a basketball championship in the pub when the pub was the pub? We talking Gratz, Mansion, everybody you name it. You guys ran the table and won it. Talk a little bit about that season.
Um, People didn't know Central as being a basketball school. We was known as an academic school in the pub, for Philadelphia. And just going into my senior year, I mean, you would know because you're my brother. I was actually thinking about transferring to Gratz.
Yeah.
It was a thought that going into my senior year to transfer to Gratz, but um, just throughout that summer, I just created a strong bond just with my teammates. Andre Willen, who a lot of guys know or a lot of people know, that's my best friend. From the sandbox. Um, and I had to drag him along with me. Another guy, my point guard, Lamar Williams. People don't know he actually ended up going Division II. But he was a talent that
Yeah.
didn't really face his full potential. But he was the floor general that we needed that year. But just going into my senior year, a lot of guys we just sacrificed and really just worked and grind and just make sure we was ready for the season. Playing for Having Harbor was also tough. He's an old school coach. He ain't let nothing slip through his fingers. He was on us, every single day. You know what I mean? And just going through that season, just being, the top player in the city at the time, felt like a rock star because I had gyms sold out, packed.
No,
You know,
before social media, and
before social
when you had
media.
Jim's Peck back in that era, if you was a guy who had Jim's Peck, you really had to be him, like, because it traveled through word of mouth. It wasn't no Instagram post of you scoring a couple points in the game. No, like it had to travel through the word of mouth. Like it was only a handful of guys who could pack the gym and had a name. It was like, yo, he's playing today. You need to be there.
Absolutely.
Now,
I remember this one.
go ahead,
Go ahead. I remember this one
go ahead, go
moment.
ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
We in University City. Matter of fact, it actually happened twice. It was at Grants and University City where we had to get actually locked up in the back before I could actually
Mm,
come out and leave. That's how
mm.
much of a ride that we caused just my senior year. Just being as good as we were as a team and as a unit, and me just being a featured player. It was hard getting out some of them gyms.
Yeah, let me ask you this. Before the season started, did y'all think y'all were that good? Or like did y'all have championship aspirations? Or like when did that kick in? Like, yo, we could win this thing.
always had championship aspirations. That was just one of my goals, and that's why I kind of thought about going to Gratz because I knew the program, the history of the program, and things like that. I just had to have my, get my guys to believe that we can do it. We was a small school. I mean, our center was 6 feet.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
we didn't have no big guys or 5 or 6 Division I athletes. It was just me and then a bunch of guys that just believed that we can do it. And one of the moments, that we realized that we was actually good was when we actually went to play against Ryan Ayers. And we ended up beating them on their home gym, him and Brian Grimes, who was also
Mm,
being heavily recruited by Drexel at the time.
mm. Now, after a successful high school career at Central, you got awarded a athletic scholarship to Drexel University. You played under Bruiser Flint. How was that experience playing in high school different than like playing in the city in college? And what was it like playing in those quote unquote Big Five games? Because you guys weren't in the Big Five at the time, but you played the likes of the U Pens and teams like that. What was it like playing in the city in college?
Oh man, it was great. People don't even know this. I grew up with learning the game of basketball from John Harnett, RP John Harnett. He taught me the game, and John actually taught us the pro game, how to be a pro. And when I first got to college, I actually struggled a little bit with the college game. Didn't really understand the college game, which I had to learn, and I had to learn quickly, or I wasn't gonna get a chance to play. Uh, so just us playing in, what we called it back then the Philly Six because we included ourselves in the Philly
Yeah, yeah.
Five, but we called it the Philly Six. Just going against, the rivaling schools in the city was always amazing because you get to play against a lot of the guys that you actually grew up playing against and seeing. Like, one of my closest friends, Deontay Christmas. I get to play against DJ Rivera. EB Jabber, who's from
EB
Jersey.
Jab. I was about to
EB
say you can't
Jabber,
leave him
yeah,
out.
I can't leave him out. And it was a battle every night, but it just brought the dog out of everyone, especially from the area. So it was always exciting and fun, and those were the games where you couldn't sleep at night because you knew you was going in for a rumble.
Now, you were named mid-major defensive player of the year out of all the players in the country that played mid-major basketball. Who was some of the toughest players you had to guard in your college career? Like, who gave you the blues or gave you a long night? Like you knew when you was guarding him, it was going to be a long night. If
I
you
had to get
don't
ready
name it,
for.
I'll name one. But go ahead. If you don't want to.
I had to get ready for Eric Maynard, man, every night. Every time I seen him, I had to get ready for him. And he was my matchup.
Yep.
Uh,
Yep.
he was tough to guard, and after college, he made it to the league and played a few years in the league. But there was a lot of guys that I had to really get ready for, and I had to make sure I was ready. JJ Barrera at Northeastern, where
Mm,
he used to back guys down from the 3-point line and get to a bucket. Another
yeah.
guy is Charles Jenkins from Hofstra, another one that I had to
You
get
had the
ready
same
for.
type of game for me.
Same
That's
type
fine.
of
Go
game.
ahead.
Sadler from
Yep.
Delaware. So it's a
Mm.
list of guards and players that I had to get ready
Demetrius
for each and every
Nichols.
night.
Demetrius Nichols.
Relax, relax, relax.
so,
He
so
was different.
6'9" Don. It was different. But listen, to speak on that some, your sophomore year, you guys went on the road to beat St. Joe's, Villanova, Syracuse, Temple on the road. All these teams on the road. As a matter of fact, you guys had the most road wins, if I'm not mistaken, out of any team in the country that year, and was snubbed from the tournament. What was that feeling like on Selection Sunday? Because I watched it on TV. You guys had all the big cameras and the bright lights to see if you guys got selected. You guys
Yeah.
didn't get selected. What was it like after that? What was the feeling like? Did they get it right or did they get it wrong?
They absolutely got it wrong. We were one of the teams that we actually thought that we made it to the NCAA tournament. We were gonna make noise. And I think a lot of people back then, or a lot of teams didn't want to face Drexel at that time. We were a complete team. We had a pure point guard. You had myself. You had Dom here who transferred from NC State. Then we had the two twin towers, Chaz Crawford and Frank Elligard. A
Yes,
shot
yes.
blocker, a guy who could score on a post, an athletic big, and then we had Tremaine Hawthorne who scored over 2,000 points in high school. So we had a complete team, and I think that moment right there, when we found out that we got snubbed and we were headed to the NIT, I think a lot of guys were very very disappointed. And of course, we tried to get ready for that game, but we just felt as though we belonged in that tournament.
I ain't gonna lie, like when I was looking back at it, I'm like B Mason, Scott Rodgers, Don Mejia, Frank Elegard, Chess. Y'all had like major size, like high major size players with high major skills. Like no way they shouldn't have let y'all in. I agree that was bull crap. Let me say it was super bull crap. You know what I'm saying? And I was messed up over that, but I was young. You finished at Drexel. You had a great career there. You went on to play overseas for what, 13 years?
12.
12 years overseas. How was that for you? What was one of your most memorable moments? And what was one of the moments where you was like, this grind different?
Oh, just the simple fact that just traveling all over the world in different countries. One of my biggest experience was just learning the culture over there. It's totally different than over here in America, and I actually learned to appreciate that. I was able to learn a few languages over there, during the time that I was playing. But one of my biggest moments and memories, really, is yeah, right before the pandemic, I actually signed a nice contract to go play in Mexico. Um, and yeah, I was gonna play a few more years, before the pandemic had happened, because I always wanted my mom and my family to actually come over there during my last hurrah to actually see me play professionally. But the pandemic kind of robbed me of that joy.
Just when I was
But
getting it all
you
together,
know,
man. Oh my God,
yeah,
that was a cooker for me, man.
yeah.
Um, so you end up retiring. You get to hire at Wagner as an assistant under your former teammate Bashir Mason. How was it like coaching on that level and then coaching with one of your former teammates who you played, was it 2 years or 2 years with B Mason at Drexel?
Yep.
How was it like coaching with your former teammate?
Well, I'll tell you this: I wasn't hired as an assistant coach my first year. I actually was a GA. So I had
Mm.
to grind just like everybody else. I had to go to class. I had to do a lot of things that, a person of my stature, especially coming from, playing professionally, they would have some type of ego or pride doing certain things, especially with one of your closest friends who you've been friends with, 20 plus years. But it's a grind. It's a grind. I've learned just coaching by, by Shea Mason is that you got to put your personal feelings aside, and it's all about business. It's about winning, and we both have that fiery competitiveness to us to try to get this, get things right and to win. And I know that just from playing, playing 2 years with him. Just as far as like coaching college basketball, I know exactly what Bruiser Flint was going through when he coached me. I can tell you that right now
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
was not easy to deal with. And I've learned that just being on this other side of coaching.
In your third year there, I believe at Wagner, you guys made the NCAA tournament. What was that experience like? And I was there. You guys played up against one of the most decorated programs in history, UNC. What was it like seeing that stage, feeling that energy, and seeing that crowd?
I just wish I could suit up. I just wish I was
Mm.
able to suit up. It was just electrifying. And as a player, you always wish you was able to experience that moment as a player. But just as a coach, it was just as gratifying and satisfying as if I was out there on the court just to see, the young guys just work so hard and to reach that stage. Um, it's just words that I probably can't even explain. It's just a feeling I probably wouldn't be able to explain, honestly.
Mm. You're now at St. Peter's as an assistant. What is your goals for this upcoming season for you and your guys?
We got one goal. That's to win a championship. We got
Mm.
one goal to win a championship. Coach Bosch, he was able to, make it 2 years ago. Um, and now we have that same goal this year. Once you get to that tournament, it's like a high. You always want to get that high. It's a feeling that you don't never want to let go. And that's what we chasing right now.
Before I let you go, coach, because I know you got to get up early in the morning. Every time I talk to a coach, I like to ask them to leave a jewel for the kids that's trying to play in the future or even parents who don't know any better. What does it take to become a successful Division I player?
A lot of things go into that. A lot of people think that talent will get you to that level, and you think you'll be successful because you're talented and things like that. But guys don't understand character goes a long way. When we walk into these gyms and we're recruiting and we see these players and we see bad body language, or if we see a player, not high five his teammate, after his teammate did something good, or even just to help them win, we look into that. And a lot of these young guys don't understand that. They think that just putting the ball into the basket is going, grant them a Division I scholarship, and that's not the case. There's a lot of things that go into it, and character is one of them. And we all know that the college game has changed tremendously with the transfer portal. So these high school guys and these high school kids need to know they need to stand out even more. To
But
appreciate you, man.
before I let you go, you played college basketball. I played college basketball. Who had the better freshman year? Enough said. Ladies and
Wait,
gentlemen,
can I ask you a question?
enough said. Scott Rodgers, St. Peter's assistant coach. I love you, my boy. Thanks for being on air with Rare. Make sure y'all follow and subscribe at Rare Footage Sports and follow us on X, the #1 source for sports at Rare Footage News.